Joe.
Yes, sir.
We're out here in Philadelphia. You're homeless. Tell me about it.
Most days it's pretty bad. Some days it's a little better than most, but it's never good. Today's been a bad day. It's cold, wet. That makes it bad, the wet, cold, but yeah, hopefully it won't be like this for long.
Now an Action News special report, the face of homelessness in Philadelphia. It is a changing phenomenon as more and more youths are struggling on the streets, fighting poverty with no place to go. Investigative reporter Wendy Saltzman has the story of 4 young people who are among those battling life on the streets of Philadelphia.
Well, 20-year-old Cahill Warren has been homeless for the last 4 years.
Me, I'm kind of like thinking, all right, I hope nobody sees me.
Abandoned by his family, the sidewalks of Germantown became his home.
Being homeless is really undescribable. Like, the only way you can actually describe it is by doing it.
Victoria Miller.
The first time I got kicked out of my mom's house, I was 15.
Anthony Robinson.
It's difficult, for someone who doesn't have a place to stay to make it out here.
And Jerica King are all homeless.
It's not easy in any aspect of the word of being homeless. It's a struggle in everything, finding food, finding shelter, finding clothing.
These 4 young adults have been homeless for between 3 and 5 years.
All right, Sarah, thanks for being here this morning. I appreciate it very much.
Sure.
Explain your role at Bethesda Project a little bit, what you do for the organization.
Sure. So my title is I'm the Volunteer and Community Engagement Manager. Very large title. Basically what that means is I am in charge of overseeing all of our volunteers that come and help us out at our organization, and every single year we have over 1,200 people who volunteer with us, and it could be on a one-time basis. It'll also be for the rest of their lives. And so we have large groups of people, we have individuals. I also go out into all of our sites. We have 14 residential sites to see what their needs are, and then I ask for in-kind donations for people, members of the community, to provide new underwear, new socks, toiletries, clothing, all of those things that we need to make sure the people that we serve get their basic human needs met every single day. My other part of my job is community engagement manager. So what that means is I go out into the community to schools, businesses, personal groups, anybody who wants to have kind of like a conversation or a presentation around homelessness, issues of social justice, and how Bethesda Project addresses these issues and serves the most vulnerable chronically homeless individuals. So I think, the broad stigmas that I hear when I go out into the community, I always ask people, tell me what your initial stereotypes are, right? Because I like to talk through them to kind of break them down into what's really going on for individuals. And the stigmas that I often hear are that everybody's a drug addict, no one wants to work, people are taking advantage of the system, that they are lazy, that they're faking it, all of these things, right? People are choosing to be homeless, and we try to combat those stereotypes every single day. And the bigger picture is that we work with individuals who, whether it is a result of the cycle of poverty and never really having opportunities to get plugged into economic means that keep them safe and level, or we have individuals who have dealt with some significant barriers, whether that is significant mental health issues or chronic medical issues that have barred them from being able to provide for themselves.
How'd you end up homeless?
Well, I got divorced and I moved out here. I had a concrete job. Came out here. This was in February, and we got everything going together, and we started working in March. We did good work. Everything was going great. And then 2 months later, I showed up for work in the morning and everything was just gone. The boss packed up all the trucks, all the gear, and just took off out of Philadelphia. So still don't know what happened to him. He just left us here. And I made it for a little bit and put in a lot of job applications, but got a couple of jobs here and there. We were doing cleaning graffiti work off downtown buildings for a couple months. I was doing that, but then when the weather turned again, a couple weeks ago, I lost that job, so I'm back out here now.
So, I think that's also another myth, that people who are homeless don't have a good education. So I think that there is a large dynamic of individuals who probably grew up in impoverished situations, that school was never you know, when maybe I went to school or you were going to school, you had teachers that knew your name and wanted to see you succeed, and you went to school in a school district that had enough money for books and supplies and things like that, right? And so a lot of the individuals that we work with come from impoverished situations where the school system didn't have any of those things, and so their education was incredibly lacking. And so we definitely work with individuals to get them plugged into the GED process and have tutors that help them on a regular basis, and then you can take the test to see. And then we also have individuals who have had a full education and have even went to college or, you know, have their masters. But again, because of maybe they, you know, started getting symptoms of a mental illness while they were in college, or they had a successful career and then lost that and then didn't have the means to get another job. And so it's all sorts of different kind of stories of